Hello my loves, welcome back to Music and Beauty TV. It's me, Miss Ruby. Today we're going to talk about Microlink extensions. I'm going to be doing a step-by-step tutorial on how to do a braidless sew-in using the Microlink sewn-in extension method. This is a great option for clients who don't want to have braids in their hair, clients who just want to add a few tracks for volume or length, or clients whose hair doesn't stay in braids very well but still want to add hair to their head. So these are the tools that you're going to need. Number one is this Fusion Master tool. It's basically like pliers. You're going to use this tool to clamp the micro bead onto your client's hair, which leads me to number two, the micro beads themselves. They sell these in 2 or 3 different colors at your beauty supply, so make sure you get the color that most closely matches your client's hair. And then you're going to need the loop tool that allows you to slide the micro bead onto your client's hair. Today we are using hair that has been supplied by weavepro.net. Details for the supplier of this hair are in the description below. This particular product is called the Halo Clip-In Extension. I know that there are clips on this weft, but you don't necessarily have to use this solely for clip-ins, as you can still sew it in if you want it to be more secure for a longer period of time. Here I've sectioned off my client's hair because we are going to be doing 2 tracks for this install. I did cut the Halo Clip-In extension in half and I sealed the ends so that it wouldn't shed. This way, one clip-in wasn't too long for the amount of space my client has in her head. If you want details on how to do that on another video, let me know and I can see about getting that up. So for starters, I just want to show you that you are going to section off a portion of the hair, leaving some hair beneath this track and leaving hair on top to cover it up. And then you're going to go through and you're going to take a small section of your client's hair at a time and you're going to loop the bead onto that section, clamp it down very snug and secure without being too tight, and that is how we're going to create the row that you're able to stitch on. But I wanted to show you really quickly the basic gist of doing this and show you that you don't want to slide the bead up too closely to your client's scalp, because then there won't be any room for you to stick the needle through in order to loop the track onto that bead. You also don't want it to be too close and tight to the scalp because that can cause redness, damage to the hair, and potential pulling. You want to go in with that Fusion Master plier tool and you want to clamp the bead securely onto the hair. Now here's an example of what might happen if you don't clamp it tight enough. You'll be able to slide it off just by slightly pulling, and don't worry about them being too tight onto the hair because there is a way to remove, which is just like this. You take these pliers and you attach them to the bead as so, and then you are able to open that bead up and very easily remove them from your client's hair. If your client doesn't have this tool at home, advise them to come back to you for the removal of this product, or to add some oil to the portion of hair where the beads are applied and try to gently remove them. If they do not gently remove, they need to get the tool or they need to come back to you, or else they're going to pull their hair out. This is what one row looks like after I've applied the micro beads. Then I'm going to go in and I'm actually going to stitch the track on, and that's what it looks like after the track has been applied. But now we're going to get into the actual detail of how I did this. Now if you'll notice, I've already kind of straightened this client's hair out except for at the root, and the only portion of the root that's not straightened is the portion where I want to apply the micro beads. So if you were to look underneath, all of the hair that I've straightened beneath that row has been straightened at the root. The reason why I do this is because I find that the more coarse it is at the root, then the easier it is for those beads to grip onto the hair. Of course, you're going to have some clients who don't have coarse hair at the root and it's still fine, but to make the job a little bit easier and more secure, I prefer it this way. And so now I'm going to go in section by section and I'm going to add the beads one by one, about 1/2 inch to 1 inch apart from one another, so that I can create my row to stitch onto. You can attach your beads closer together, but definitely don't do them any further apart than this. I prefer not to use too many beads in my client's hair because it's just more room for damage if they're improperly removed. But otherwise, if your client knows what they're doing and they've gone through this process before and you feel more comfortable adding more beads, go for it. Now I'm going to go in and slide my needle and thread through the weft of this bundle first, and then we're going to start to stitch on. Now when you're stitching on, then make sure that you're looping your needle through the hair that is above the microlink. So I'm just going to go through bit by bit and I'm going to stitch this track down. For the first part of the track and the last part of the track, you're going to see that I'm adding 2 to 3 stitches on that one micro bead, but you don't really want to stitch too much on one micro bead because there's not a lot of hair there to stitch onto, and you don't want it to be sore for your client. All of the rest of the tracks that I do, I'm only going to loop the needle through one time, making sure that when I get to the middle of that track, I'm adding an extra knot just to secure it in place so that as my client wears this style, there's no room for error or sliding out of this track. Like I said, here I am at the end, and I am stitching 2 times to make sure that it is fully secured against my client's head, and I'm also knotting it 2 times. And this is what it looks like in the end. Altogether, I've added 1 full bundle of hair that was cut in half to my client's head, and now I'm just going through and I'm straightening that hair out so that it can blend with my client's hair. She wanted this option just to add some volume and length to her natural hair without having to commit to a full sew-in weave. Another great way that you can use this microlink sew-in option is if you want to add tracks toward the top of your client's hair without the bulkiness of braids. For this particular client, we only added hair to the middle and the bottom portion of her head. So now I'm going through and I'm straightening out all of the hair on top so that it can blend seamlessly with the tracks. And as you can see, I only sectioned a really small part right here, and it's covering this halo clip-in extension very easily, which goes to show that this clip-in extension is flat, despite the fact that there's about 4 to 5 layers of hair. Some of you asked in my last video if this clip-in extension was heavy or too heavy to be sewn onto one small piece of hair, and I wanted to answer by letting you know it's not. My client today specifically said that it feels very lightweight. She can't even tell it's in her head, but it does feel secure. So yeah, I hope you learned something. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions about this process. God bless you guys, and I'll see you on the next video.